In 2024, I've run 3 marathons, and I've run those 3 marathons in 3 different shoes. So I thought in this video, we're going to talk about those 3 shoes, and I'm going to let you know which one was best. Hello everybody and welcome to FORDY Runs. My name is Chris Ford. I'm a running and athletics coach based here in the UK. When I'm not coaching runners, I'm making YouTube videos about running shoes, running, race day vlogs, coaching tips and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you subscribe before you leave me today. Now, like I said, I've run 3 marathons this year and I've run in 3 different shoes. We ran the London Marathon in the Adidas Adizero Pro 3 and I ran 3:44. I ran the 50th Berlin Marathon in just under 4 hours in the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4. And then finally I ran the Yorkshire Marathon in 4 hours and 19 or 20 minutes and I ran that in the New Balance SE Elite version 4. Now all those shoes gave me different rides, all those shoes gave me different feelings, so I thought it'd be awesome to give you that feedback and let you know what I think about each shoe and pick one of those as my favourite. Okay, so look, I don't want to go too deep into the shoes. I want to talk more about what they were like on race day. So the London Marathon 2024, like I said, I ran 3:44. It was a trial race for me. I was looking to use it as confidence building for Berlin, but I then got injured and that's another story. But like I said, I ran it in the Pro 3. I was going to run it in the Asics Meta Speed Edge, but I bottled out of that because I had no confidence in that shoe and I wanted to run a shoe that I knew that I could get to 20 miles at 3:30 pace, and I did that. I achieved that very well. The shoe is excellent. It is an absolute cracker, that shoe. Light Strike Pro, and it worked extremely well with the energy rods. The upper is the only thing that lets the shoes down. Well, actually the laces do. But overall the shoe performed exceptionally well. The feedback was brilliant. I was able to consistently hold that marathon target goal pace for me, which is 8-minute miles. It responded well there, but actually even when I eased off a little bit after 20 miles in my pace, the shoe still performed very well and was still very stable. It's a phenomenal shoe. Now obviously version 4's coming and the shoe is still £219, but you can still buy version 3. I then went to Berlin in September and ran the 50th Berlin Marathon. Like I said, I came in at just under 4 hours. That was a remarkable turnaround for me because I had been out for just over 6 weeks with a calf tear. That race was all about finishing, was all about using that training block to build my stamina back up, and I was really happy to cross that line. Now I ran that race in the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4. I picked what I think is the best everyday runner marathon shoe. That shoe again is stable, it's responsive, it worked extremely well at that sort of 8 to 9 minute miles. Now I was looking at about 8:30 per mile for the first 16 miles and the shoe performed extremely well. It felt great underfoot, it felt responsive when I wanted to put my foot down, but at the same time it was stable enough at those easier paces. I had no issues in terms of heat spots, rubbing or anything. The outsole worked well, the carbon plate worked well. As an overall package, the whole thing worked well. And then finally I ran the Yorkshire Marathon in 4 hours and 19 minutes in the SE Elite version 4. Now in that race I was up against a storm. We ran in 40-mile-an-hour winds with some of the worst conditions I've ever run in. The course is hilly and that wasn't helped with the rain and the wind. I ran that at 9-minute mile pace. That was my aim for the race. I actually came in a little bit slower than I wanted to because I was with Speedgoat and he had an issue, so we slowed down in the last sort of 3 or 4 miles. Other than that, I was tracking for a sub 4 and I was very, very happy with the shoe. The Fuel Cell Piba midsole was performed exceptionally well. It was stable, it was responsive, and it held that easier pace very well. I had, again, no issues in terms of heat spots, blistering, anything. I'd only done 3 miles in that shoe before I rocked it out on race day. But it was phenomenal, people. In those conditions, it was phenomenal. It was stable, it was responsive, and it was just excellent at holding that slightly sort of slower pace where normally in a softer shoe, I'd be pronating like anything. I was absolutely well within myself in that shoe. It really held up to the job in hand. So look, which shoe would I pick out of those 3? Well, now, firstly, if I had to run a faster marathon, I would actually go for the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2. Now I've held that shoe back this year because I was going to run Berlin in that shoe, but because of the injury I didn't have the confidence to run a time. I just wanted to get it done. It is a very soft shoe, but if you said to me, FORDY, you've got to go run an A race in Paris or London in 2025, right now sitting here, I 100% pick the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2. Now that said, there could be another shoe that comes out between now and Paris, so I could end up in another shoe, but sitting here right now confidently, I would run that in the Elite 2. But just looking at those shoes that I've actually run marathons in, the one shoe that I would recommend to all of you is the Pro 4. This is the shoe that sits in the middle. This is the one shoe that you can do everything in. Although the wear and tear is poor, I just think this is the sort of halfway ground between those other shoes. You can't buy the SC Elite version 4 because it's so much money. It's a shame because I think that's a shoe that somebody who's slightly pronates will get on very well with. I think that'll also work for heavier runners. But this shoe is that sort of halfway ground between that elite shoe, that Metaspeed Sky or Edge. This is the shoe that sits in the middle. And I think its price point is perfect. It's like 220 odd pounds. You can get a discount at start finish using my code 40 rounds. But the upper on it, the foam on it, everything works extremely well in this shoe. And I think this is a shoe, if you're looking to run your first marathon or maybe your second marathon with a bit of pace in it, this is the shoe to get. Now, don't get me wrong, the Adidas Pro 3 is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's probably my favourite marathon shoe for a long time, to be honest. I've run quite a few marathons in it thinking about it. It's brilliant, but we've got Pro 4 coming out and I can't sit here and say, oh, that's the shoe because I've not run a marathon in it. So until I do that, I can't really recommend it, or at least get some like longer miles in it. I can't really recommend it over the shoes that I've actually run marathons in this year. So there we go, people. If you're looking for a marathon shoe from me at the moment, after doing 3 marathons in 3 different shoes, I'd recommend these. So look, let me know in the comments, what have you run your marathons in this year? What shoe are you recommending it? Drop it in the comments. Again, make sure you reference it in terms of, right, you was going for it, you wasn't going for it, you know, you blew up, whatever. Let us know in the comments. Really important to give some reference in terms of what you was running, how you was running, that sort of thing. Now, I must give a shout out to the Super Blast 2 before we end, because on the live stream that we do on a Monday night, and make sure you tune in at 8 o'clock UK time, I've seen a lot of you guys and girls mentioning that you've run marathons in the Super Blast 2 this year and you've PB'd in that shoe. So don't neglect the Super Blast 2, people. Always got to get the Super Blast 2 in the video. But yeah, there we go. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave me today, and I think that's about it. So I'll catch you all later.